Season's a struggle. Hello and welcome back to episode 23 of our non-league to legends series, where we start in non-league football management and attempt to go on and win the Champions League. So we're over here with Nottingham Forest. As you can see, we are on the 19th of March, so we have gone quite far ahead since the last episode. We'll have a quick look at how we have been doing since you were last with me, which that was the match against Southampton. I mean, that match against Southampton, although it was against Premier League opposition, had just seemed to destroy the morale of the team. And as you can see, it took us a long time to pick up a win. A draw against Sunderland, 2-0 loss against Brighton, which was the last two times we used a 4-4-2. We've since switched over to a 4-3-3 DM, so similar to what we were using with Bath City. That has yielded better results. I mean, a 2-2 draw against, at the time, 10th place Crystal Palace, 1-1 with Middlesbrough. We've lost to Portsmouth. It's got a bizarre 3-0 win there out of nowhere against Cardiff, and then two consecutive losses against Peterborough and QPR. However, once we had a couple of team meetings with the team, we do seem to have turned a little bit of a corner, fingers crossed, on the form. So we've had our last three matches, which were a 2-0 win against Swansea, a 2-2 draw with Luton, and a 2-1 win against Rotherham in the last match. Today we are showing the lower end of the league, so it is a match against 24th place Birmingham and 23rd place Blackburn. But as it stands at the moment, we are 19th in the league. So these games are quite relevant because these guys are the two bottom teams at the bottom of the league. They are bottom of the pile, and we should be realistically getting a couple of results off of them. So they're quite good games to see, because if we can just bury these teams a little bit more, that would be super helpful the further up the league we can get. I mean, I do talk about us being 19th, but realistically we're only 2 points behind 15th place Swansea and 14th place Middlesbrough, and obviously that would put us in a lot better position. So maybe it's not quite as bad as it looks, but we do desperately need to turn around form. Obviously, as I said, we are in March, so the transfer window closed at the end of January, and we'll have a look at the deals we made in that transfer window now. So we'll have a look at the outside of this first. We've got three main things that have happened. There are some loans, but I'm not going to go through all of those because there is a lot of them. The three main signings out were Daryl Horgan. He's gone over to Swansea. He's 31 years old. We probably have a bit more squad depth in his position out on the left wing than we do in other positions. We managed to get £700,000 for him. It's a pretty good deal. As we can see, he wasn't playing very regularly for us. He's not really playing very regularly for Swansea, and he's on a 6.2 for that one appearance as well. So maybe it's a case of good riddance. Ben Whiteman came to us and he wanted to leave. Again, midfield, we're a little bit better and we really needed some money to invest in our defence, as I mentioned last episode. So again, he wanted to go. He's gone over to QPR, who are even worse in the league than we are. They've paid £500,000 for him. He looks like he's doing quite well over there, so good luck to him. Again, it wasn't a player. He played 5 times this season. Not a player we were using very much. The one that hurts the most is Embasso. As I mentioned at the start of last episode, he didn't have a work permit, so we sent him out on loan to some random team that I can't remember the name of, but his contract was also running out and he wouldn't re-sign with us, so he's literally joining Hanover 96 on a free at the end of the season. I had him for maybe one game since I've been here. He then had to go out on loan because that was the only way of getting my work permit, and as it is, we won't be seeing Embasso again. So now I'm just going to forget he ever existed because there's literally nothing I can do about it. No point dwelling on the past. On the other side, though, we have made 5 signings, which we've had 3 main outs and 5 signings in, so it's slight improvement on squad numbers at least. We've got Benjamin Otterson. He's very much a backup player. I needed a defensive midfielder. We couldn't afford anyone ridiculous, so he's on loan from Copenhagen. He's 18 years old. He's a nice little backup for this defensive midfielder position. He's obviously young with a lot of potential, and he does all right when he can come in. He's played 3 games for us. He's not doing anything amazing. He's on a 6.65 rating, but he is nice just for that bit of squad depth. Second signing here then, Mads Becker Sorensen, formerly of Brentford in the Premier League, had been plying his trade in Napoli. We've paid 1.5 million for him, which is quite a lot of money, but again, we desperately needed someone for those central defender positions, and I'll explain why in a minute. This was even more of an important signing. But if we have a look at him, he's still got a decent amount of ability here. He's fairly good all round, nothing too outstanding. I have just noticed he's got 19 for long throws, so I might need to be going over in a minute and changing my long throw tactic, because I don't think I've got him on them. And he's got a long flat throw. I feel like I might need to change that. Hopefully we'll see him binging amazing, fantastic long throw in this episode now. We've also brought in a backup goalkeeper in the form of Callum Ward. I say backup, if anything, maybe he needs to be our starting goalkeeper. 5 appearances, 7 conceded. I don't think, given our form, that's actually horrific. I think that's probably pretty decent. If we go and look at our first choice goalkeeper, which is Brad Collins, supposedly first choice, 33 appearances, 49 conceded, I would argue is worse. Cam Ward could end up being our first choice goalkeeper. We've paid 500,000 for him. Again, he's nothing outstanding. He's very much there for squad depth, and I think maybe he is fractionally better than Brad Collins. Another defender here then, Mathieu Moret, Spanish 24-year-old. We're playing him as a right back. He's very good all along this right hand side, but obviously we use him as a right back. He's formerly of Barcelona and Borussia Dortmund. We've paid 1.3 million for him. He's been on and off injured, which is a bit annoying. However, 6 appearances and 3 assists, so a goal contribution in 50% of his matches as a right back. Again, I don't feel like that's horrific. I think that's pretty much what we'd need him to do. And then from Wolves, we've brought in Dean Sanderson, 3.5 million. He's made 11 appearances so far and has a 7.06 rating. He is another defensive player because we need to strengthen that depth. The good thing about Dean Sanderson is I bought him in to be a centre back, but he can equally play on that right hand side and has done when Maroy isn't available. Again, I think he's fairly decent. He's not quite a ball playing defender, although I think that is what he wants to play as, really, or as a wide centre back, but realistically probably a ball playing defender. If you're having a look at him for that, his passing is all right, his marking's pretty good, his first touch is all right. Again, there's no green attributes on here, but they're pretty much all 11, 12, so he's very much a good depth player, and he's good enough to start when we need him to as well. Does explain why those defensive positions are so important as well. We can see here there's some promises going on. Z Lewis does want to leave. The other ones that want to leave are Scott McKenna and Joe Worrell. As you can see, the only 2 central defenders that we did have in the club, I've had to basically, in order to get them to stay, promise that I will sell them in the future. So Scott McKenna, we've kind of agreed he'll leave in the summer, as will Joe Worrell. So at least now we're going to be back in the summer to the problem we had when we took over this club, which is going to be back to 2 central defenders, and we're going to have Scott McKenna, Joe Worrell and Embasso all have left in the first sort of 6 months we're at the club. So by the summer we're not going to have any of the same 3 central defenders that we had when we got here. Hey, we've also promised that in the next couple of years we're making Sky Bet Championship playoffs too. Mathieu Moret and Callum Ward, so we very, very much need to start progressing quite quickly next season. I think we've also agreed with the chairman we'll have acceptable competition performance, and as we can see, he's not very happy with that so far. But we have today got the match against Birmingham. It's very much an opportunity here to be changing our fortunes, and hopefully we can go and do that in this match against Birmingham. So this is the lineup we will be using for the match against Birmingham. It's Collins in goal, back 4, Fonseca, McKenna, Worrell and Moret. We've then got back in our defensive midfielder position, so that's Finback, who we've had a look at before, and he is a Sky Bet League 2 level player, but fitness issues, he's going to have to start today. Ojeda and Goyak just in front of him in midfield, Aspria out on the left, Johnson out on the right, and we've got Taylor up front in the pressing forward position. Finback not quite fully fit, but he's kind of the best one we've got. at the moment. The games do come very, very thick and fast. I think this is 3 days after our last game, so we're going to have to rotate a bit, and this is bottom of the lead, Birmingham. So if ever we're going to have an opportunity to rotate the team, this is probably it. As always, guys, if you do enjoy today's episode and you are enjoying the content on the channel and would like to support us, please do drop a like down below the video. It really, really does help out. I'd really appreciate it. It's fantastic for the YouTube algorithm. So what if you're down there when you finish watching the video, just hit that like button. It will be very much appreciated. 10 minutes into our match against Birmingham, though, we've had a couple of shots there, both pretty much at the same time. We can launch a counter attack here from their attack by the looks of it. It was a bit of a weird start to the highlight, but never mind. Aspria then over to Ojeda, I have no idea how I say any of these names. Morey into Johnson to Goyak. We're just holding up the ball nicely here. Morley cuts that one back into Goyak, into Johnson now. Johnson has nestled that one into the bottom left of the goal. It's being disallowed for offside. The assistant referee is and anyway, it is quite substantially offside, which is a shame because it was quite a nice finish there from Johnson, really. We encouraged the team. We'd like to see a little bit more of that. We are looking quite good on the ball there from what I've saw. I would like, though, to start putting a little bit more distance between us and that relegation zone. So if we could get some wins here, especially against two teams that are themselves in the relegation scrap, I think that definitely works in our favour. And like I said, the numbers do make it look slightly worse than it is. I mean, we've got 44 points at the moment. 13th place Swansea have got 48. So it would only take Swansea and Reading losing a couple of games and us managing to win ours, and we'd be going up the league very, very quickly. Birmingham haven't had a look in this match yet, though. No shots. Unfortunately, only one highlight in this first half, which kind of demonstrates that we're not doing a lot either, and I am in a position where we cannot be losing matches like this, or really even affording to draw them. So we've already got all these guys on attacking. I do want to keep this central midfield quite defensive, hence a defensive midfielder and a ball-winning midfielder, because we kind of had to play around with this as we were seeing matches happen. But before we had that ball-winning midfielder, we were just getting overrun in midfield, even with 3 midfielders in there. But because we need this win, we're going to go attacking now, and hopefully that'll be enough to pile the pressure onto Birmingham and eventually get a breakthrough. Birmingham don't seem to be offering much, if anything, in attack at the moment. Obviously, we're not seeing any highlights either, so it is quite hard to judge. I am only going on the match stats, and we're coming up to the 65th minute, and I do wonder what we can do. And the only thing I can do is, although I want to keep playing Taylor, Amado Broja has been the guy scoring the goals in the last few matches, so we're going to bring him on in that pressing forward position. We're going to demand more from the team, and we're going to hope that that substitution allows us to make a breakthrough. Gojak now is looking tired, so we will bring on Ryan Yates, and we are going to finally see another highlight. It's the second one of the match. It's taken us 74 minutes to get to that second one. We've had 19 shots at this point, which is borderlining on the ridiculous, really. We could really do, please guys, with a goal. I mean, 20 shots. Like I said, borderlining on ridiculous here. The fact that we've had 2 highlights in this match for that amount of shots. Birmingham have not even a shot on target. They've not had a shot yet in this match. Broja there off of that free kick. I thought it was going to be a late goal from us. As it is, apparently Broja was offside anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. And there's only about 30 seconds left on the clock at the moment. Very irritating if we do not win this match, which honestly, unless we launch a very quick counter-attack here, which I guess we could if we can get this tackle in, we're not going to be winning this one either, and it's just stupid points to be dropping. I have seen this in a few games as well. This is definitely the most dominant game I've seen. Birmingham have not had a shot. We've had 22 shots. I feel like we've been FM there, but I have seen this in a few games where we've absolutely dominated in terms of shots, and we still lost like 2-0, and it is a bit silly. It puts us into 18th on goal difference. We've got another game. We go again against Blackburn, and if we can pull out the same performance, then hopefully we can actually score a goal this time. In between games then, and we've got this email come through, which is allowing us to have a quick look at the youth players we got in through. We've, according to this, got 2 elite talents, so we're going to have a look at those 2. We've got Niall Healy, 15-year-old Irish right back, best played as a wing back currently. He does look quite good. The potential as well is fantastic there. I mean, the coach report could improve a lot, which doesn't really tell us, but in terms of potential, that would put him as the best right back in the club if he does reach that. He's got a fairly professional personality as well. And what's his determination like? That's always the other one to look at. 13 at the moment, 15 work rate, 18 for teamwork. He could be a really good prospect. We've also got Ricardinho's a 15-year-old English left winger or potentially striker. First touch of 15 at the age of 15 years old is amazing and could definitely turn into something very good. He's already got 11 dribbling. If we can improve his finishing as well, could be a pretty good striker for us in the future. Really good potential, fairly determined personality. His determination is 15, work rate is 5, which is not fantastic, and teamwork is also 5, but maybe with the right mentoring he could become a decent player. We've also then got 2 top talents, which is Peter Groves, 16-year-old English midfielder, best played as either a deep line playmaker or an advanced playmaker. Again, mercenary personality. Love a good mercenary personality. Why not? I'm not as impressed by any of his attributes. 14 technique, I guess, is quite nice. The rest of them, maybe nothing to write home at the moment. Determination of 12, work rate of 7. He could be very either hit or miss, I feel. And then we've got Rolly Cabanagu, a Congolese, Dominican Republic. What is DR? This is where my geography falls down. But he's a 15-year-old centre-back. He's already got half a star, which is quite good. Again, nothing too amazing. 14 tackling, I guess, at age 15 is pretty good. 18 for bravery, so he might well be quite a good defender if he's going to dive into those tackles, put his body on the line. 17 for natural fitness in this league. Definitely, it's a great thing to have with the amount of games we play. Teamwork and stuff like determination and work rate could definitely do with some work on him. It could do with growing, but it could be someone with some good potential. So maybe we might have a good crop of players coming through here. And this is the team we will be using for that match against Blackburn. We continue with Collins in goal, back 4 of Williams, back Sorensen, Sanderson and Morey, Yates in the defensive midfielder position, Cafu and Ojeda in midfield, Aspria out on the left, Johnson on the right, and Broja returning up front. Obviously, Joe Worrell and McKenna are fit at the moment. This is purely given they want to leave it in the summer. I've got 2 options. I can use Dion Sanderson and back Sorensen and kind of try and get them, hopefully, with that lovely little green dynamic line in between them, ready for the new season so we can hopefully push forward. Or I can use the 2 guys who want to leave and hopefully make them a bit more attractive to clubs that might make a bid. I've gone with prepare for the next season and those 2 players playing together consistently, which kind of has made McKenna and Worrell the backup centre backs rather than the first choice ones, which they definitely were when we got here, because it was a first choice of 2 for the 2 positions and the 2 players at one point. Morey here, cross into the box. Aspria's got to it. I don't know if their goalkeeper fumbled that one. I don't really care. It's a goal in the episode. It's a while since we saw one of them. I guess it isn't. We had a goal against Southampton. It was the 4 goals that they scored that were the issue, really, less than the goal we didn't score. But either way, Morey here, making his way to the byline, crossed it in. I think the goalkeeper has come for it and has just not got it. And he's already committed to the ball. He hasn't managed to get it. Esprit is there to knock it home. It's good. It's currently puts us up to 16th, is that? Just going above Sheffield Wednesday and Middlesbrough there. So we're not very far behind Peterborough. We're not very high behind Swansea. Peterborough, I think, have just conceded a goal. So now, as I've said that, we've gone up to 15th as as well. So it's all looking a little bit better. It's definitely taken a bit of tinkering with the formation. The good thing is as well is if I can kind of work out exactly what formation we want to use. I thought we were conceding there. If we can work out what formation we want to use and which one works for our team, and at the moment it does seem to be the 4-3-3. While it's not my favourite formation in the world, it is what is working. Then I can go into the summer transfer window very much knowing what formation we want to play, what roles we want the player in that formation to play, and sign accordingly. So if we're playing with a defensive midfielder on a DM, then we can sign a defensive midfielder on a DM. Brennan Johnson didn't manage to claim that goal in the last match, but he has definitely thundered that one home at the far post. Again, it's pretty decent build-up play for us. Out to Williams there. Jeffrey Williams swinging that one into Johnson to just tap that one home. We've got low crosses on as well. That definitely seems to help when we do get those crosses in. I think Brennan Johnson and Broja, especially when they are playing, much prefer being able to smack that one home with their foot rather than their head. They've not got the best heading in the world. It's not bad, but it's not the best heading in the world. So definitely having the low crosses on makes sense at the moment for them. Blackburn with the ball at the moment. What we do need to do now is not go and concede a goal, because if we do concede a goal, we seem to fall apart. I'd definitely say when we have got Sanderson and Sorensen in the centre-back positions, we are a little bit more secure than we were with McKenna and Rowell back there, or McKenna and Embassou, whichever formation it was we were playing, where I believe I described us as leaky as a colander, where every time we saw a ball come into the box, we seemed to concede a goal. We are a little bit more secure. That wasn't the best example of it, that last highlight where we've just let the ball go over the head of all of our defenders. But Brad Collins has managed to save it and save our blushes. That was an absolute waste of a highlight. If you're going to end the highlight there, don't even start the highlight. Ball into Cafu there. He's managed to get his head to it. It is over the bar though. We've had more highlights already in 35 minutes of this game than we did in the entirety of the last game. Brennan Johnson is already looking tired. I have questions because you definitely had a full green heart at the start of this and you've played 45 minutes of football. I know you're young, but should that not give you more stamina? I could understand maybe you running out of stamina this early if you were 46 and playing football for Nottingham Forest, but you're not. Your engine is awful, Johnson. You've scored a goal, but you're letting the team down by having the engine of a half-dead hamster. I guess we bring on Luke Freeman over on this side to replace Brennan Johnson, just so we don't break his young, youthful legs. I think they are pretty much about to fall off on the 55th minute, so we'll get him off the pitch. We're now sitting pretty, I don't know if it's the right word, but we're sitting in 15th place. I guess if you got 24 teams, we need to finish 12th to get our mid-table finish that we said to the board when we joined them we would get. So we've got 3-4 more places to go. It is still achievable. Again, to get to, let's say, that 12th place, all right, that's a bit of a stretch, to be fair. But to get to 13th place and overtake Preston is only 3 points away as it stands. We are going to make our final substitution, and it is going to be Broja for Dale Taylor. As it is, that's what the assistant manager is suggesting. Or we're going to see the Sorensen throw for the first time. Jesus, that's quite far. I've just recognised a problem with my long throw tactic now, and that is that my guys that have the good headers are on the front post, because I wasn't expecting him to hit the back post. So as it is, I've got Freeman on the back post, who's third, fourth best at heading, and doesn't have the best reactions in the world with his 31 years of age. So maybe if I'm going to consistently, thank you Dale Taylor, if we're going to consistently use that long throw technique, then we probably need to have our better guys on the back post rather than the front post. Dale Taylor coming on there and instantly making an impact about a minute and a half after he's come on the field. It's a good bit of play there. Gojak just cutting the ball through to him, and he's got there first. Again, I don't know who's in goal for Blackburn. They're not the fastest goalkeeper in the world, and they do seem to keep committing themselves to making a save and then not making it. Again, we'll take it. Dodgy goalkeeper. If every team we face for the rest of this season can have an ultra dodgy goalkeeper, I'm absolutely fine with that. we'll make the signings in the summer to deal with the teams that don't have a dodgy goalkeeper. But for the moment, if you can all have hands made out of tubs of margarine, I'm alright with it. We can launch another counter-attack here. Ourselves, though, is Freeman just releasing Cafu. Cafu, in turn, trying to release Gojak there. But Gojak not reacting to it. Taylor's reacted to Blackburn, not getting rid of the ball quick enough, though. He has got a shot. It is finally saved by the Blackburn goalkeeper. But Del Taylor, when he does come on, he doesn't seem to perform very well when I start him in a match, as we saw in the last match of this episode. But he does seem to be very good if you bring him on with 20-30 minutes left. He nearly always seems to score a goal or at least make an impact. And what a difference a match makes. 18 shots in this match and we've scored 3 of them. 22 I think it was last match, and not one of them would go in the back of the net. Del Taylor's come on and got a 7.4, which is fantastic. Everyone there has got green ratings, which is what we want to see. Dion Sanderson, again, 8.7 rating. He seems like he was a good signing. That 3.5 million we've paid for him, not all up front either. A lot of it is kind of add-ons, if and whens. He's definitely seems to have been a good signing. He's 100% improved us. He's going to be very, very important next season as he goes into his role as the first choice centre back of 2. It seems to be a theme of this club. Once we've got rid of Raw and we've got rid of McKenna in the summer, because they're going to leave, and if we don't get rid of them now, they're going to throw their toys out of the pram. We've now got 5 matches unbeaten in a row. Yeah, if we don't sell McKenna and we don't sell Raw, they're going to throw the toys out of the pram, so they will be going unless they come to us at the end of the season. I actually have changed my mind. I don't want to go, which case they can stay because we need centre backs. We seem to be a club that we're never ever going to have more than 2 centre backs at a time. Maybe that's the challenge of Nottingham Forest. Can you achieve greatness whilst never having more than 2 people who can play centre back at a reasonable level? But yeah, 5 matches unbeaten. That's a far stretch. They're not all wins, obviously, but out of the last 5 we've played, 3 wins and 2 draws. It's a vast improvement on the form we were having before this. We've got 6 games left of the rest of this season. Depending how those games go, we might come back for the last 2. I guess it will be very dependent on how we're looking leading into those last 2 games. If not, we'll be back for the summer transfer window. And again, it's going to be an episode of Let's Rebuild the Squad. I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. I think at Nottingham Forest, it's very much needed. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please do hit the like button below the video. As I mentioned, it really helps out the channel with the YouTube algorithm. It'd be super appreciated as well. If you haven't already, while you're down there, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and YouTube will tell you every time I upload anything to the channel, and you can follow along with the rest of our non-league to legend journey and laugh at my misfortunes with Nottingham Forest. Until next time though guys, thank you very much for watching today. I will see you over on episode 24 where we will continue with Nottingham Forest.